Hey guys, welcome back. It is time to start our Klingon cruiser build. I've already done a kit review of this, so I'm just gonna start looking through the pieces and we're gonna go over what's going to be done on the build. Let me get that out of the box. Be right back. Alright, well I've got everything laid out here and I'm just having myself a think. Where do I want to start this? Is what I'm thinking. I'm not quite sure. So we'll kind of go over what I'm doing, or what I'm thinking about. So here's this whole head section. Here's the nacelles, the neck, the rear and front of this. We've got this deck which goes on top of here, the stand. Not that many pieces, but before I even get to washing these, I need to start drilling holes for where my lights are going to go. I've got windows in this thing that go along here, which I'll have to drill out. There are windows in this section I'll have to drill out. Whoa! Oh, that's right, I assembled that. I'm not sure why this is a separate piece, but it's a separate piece. With absolutely no detail on it, but it's there. It's there to create a nasty seam you'll have to deal with. I need to drill some detail holes in the photon emitter. Let's go with the neck. The neck, I will have to drill at least 2 holes. I thought this was maybe a light hole originally in my review, but no, it's just it's a corresponding tab for this section here. It kind of goes on like that. But there is a light down here somewhere. I'll have to locate it. I think it's in here. And of course we have the light that is on top of this nice triangular piece, which is going to be fun to drill that out. There's a light right there. The nacelles. Okay, let's think. I'm going to be building this as the motion picture version. Now the Kronos 1 has this all lit up and it looks really cool. But I want to build this as the motion picture version. This is unlit. If I build this again, I probably will take this out and do that. I don't remember if these are actually lit, the ends of the nacelles. I don't think they are. I think the only thing in the motion picture is there's a couple of inboard lights and there's a couple of outboard lights. And then, of course, you've got the, let's see, is this the right one? This is. The nozzle here at the end, which is lit. And these are all white lights, as far as I can tell. One of the blinkers on the neck, this I believe is a red light. Here are the rear bulkheads and the front bulkheads, or bulkhead, not plural, singular. There are windows here I'll have to drill out. There's no guide. I'll have to be estimating. These impulse engines here, I'll have to be drilling those out with the pin vise and then cleaning that up either with the Dremel or with the hobby knife and then filing those flat. It's nice that they're recessed. Nice recessed section there. And that goes on the back of here somehow. I'll have to be cutting some of this out to run my wires, or even maybe to use as mounting points for my LEDs. After I drill this out and cut this out, I might want to just go ahead and assemble this just to get it on there so I can kind of gauge where I'll need to put my LEDs. I don't think I'll have to do much drilling, or if any, on these 2 large sections of the body. We have this whole mess here, which has a bunch of lights. We have the, of course, infamous red glow that comes from behind these vents, which I actually started cleaning up. There's a bunch of flash in there. I still need to go through there with my files and clean that up. It looks like there's little nubs at the top of this, which are supposed to be details, and I think I accidentally cut one off. I did. I cut one of these little things off. The most microscopic detail, and I cut it off because me. But yeah, I'll have to be moving this and then putting a filler piece behind here because I'm going to put a couple of red LEDs back here. And I don't want hot spots, so I'll have to come up with something to put in there. Few thoughts. I have a few thoughts. There are also little triangles right here that need to be filled. We have these things which go on the backs of these bulkhead pieces. There's no pins, there's just these kind of ledges where they sit. And they're rather wiggly. So no matter where you put these, you're going to have to deal with a little bit of a step if you want to fill this semen. But you have a light here. And also, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. You have a, let's see if I can get this in here correctly. It kind of goes like this. You have a spotlight on the wing here, and I want to try to do that. I'm trying to figure out where exactly on this piece I'm going to have to drill a hole to get that spotlight in the right area right here. It's going to have to probably be near the edge of this piece here, very close to the edge, in order to get the angle for the spotlight. And it's kind of a subtle spotlight, so I might actually do that with just a bit of fiber, because I just want a little spotlight. And there's one on each side, and they're both kind of highlighting. There's two decals. There's some text, I believe, and a Klingon symbol, and I think that's really what they're supposed to be highlighting. There are also spotlights going back on the bridge here, on this little dome piece here. I'm not quite sure exactly where they are, but there are two spotlights. I almost want to say they're on the back of this thing. Let's see. Somewhere I'll have to look. There are two little details. I thought they were under here, and there's spotlights going back onto the neck of the ship. I'll have to check out my screenshots again. Here's another piece that I'll have to be modifying, or maybe not. I don't know. The bridge dome. This is too short. It should be about yay tall, where the edge of my finger is. About that tall. It also, it has a trench in it. You can see it doesn't have a trench. And the trench starts at where these kind of reinforcement bulkheads end. And it goes around here, and there are little red, I guess, bridge window lights. I've seen a couple of photos of the ship from, straight on. And in the photo I saw, it looks like there's just almost a decal of windows up here on the studio model. But in other shots, it shows the trench, and this is highly detailed. And there's tons of detail. I think they used built an oversized piece for some close-up shots. And in those close-up shots, you can definitely see the trench. And there's a detail here, and there's all sorts of little vents and stuff around the bridge dome. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this yet, if anything. I'd like to make that trench, because that's kind of an iconic shot of the ship. I think it's going into the bridge, and you see it getting closer, and then you see a shot of the Klingons in the bridge. So, what else do we have here, you guys? Base. I'm going to be using the kit base. I know. I'm going to be using the kit base. This is an interesting base. First off, I thought it went like this. It actually goes like this. And this is misshapen, so maybe it does go like that. Hold on. Nope, it doesn't. It has to go like this. There we go. I got it in there. Kind of. Ooh, yeah, crack. Okay, so you think, alright, this is the base. But it doesn't go like that. It goes like this. This is how the base goes on this model. Like that. Yeah. I actually kind of like that for a few reasons. I kind of like this base. One, there's enough room in here where I can fit all my wires and my electronics, and I won't need much. I'll need a button, which I can put anywhere. And I need space for the power jack. So it goes like, and if it went like this, that'd be fine. I could put the power jack back here. You won't see it. If it goes like this, I have to decide where I want to put that power jack. If I want to put it here, drill this flat and put it here. yeah, so there's lots of room in here for me to do my wires. My button will go somewhere. Maybe it'll go up here. Maybe it'll go up here. Uh, crunch. There's tons of room to fit wires in here. I can backfill this. I can cut a piece of styrene and backfill this. Put a piece of styrene over this. That's not a problem. You've got a huge chunk of flat plastic to put a ton of epoxy on when you go to do this. Also, I can drill a hole anywhere in here to get run my wires through. And what I may actually do is mask this off with just some tape to know where the edges are. Go in here and eliminate this detail. Flatten this detail out so I get I have a nice flat surface as opposed to this raised detail surface, because if you can see that, there is a little gap in between here. So I'll have a nice flat surface to mount this base. And this should balance out fine. Most of the weight will be in the rear section. With all the LEDs I'm putting in here, all the LEDs I'm putting in here, the LEDs I'm putting back here for the impulse engines, the LEDs and the weight of the nacelles, so it should be pretty balanced. Alright, I'm going to get to drilling. I'll be back when I've got some progress. See you in a second. Well, I've been hard at work all day here. I got all my holes drilled out for all the lights, pretty much. I got the section back here taken out for the impulse engines and the torpedo, which of course correspond to this piece, which I may just glue this on here before I decide to do anything else, because there's no reason not to glue that on there. There's a blinker down here, a red blinker. There are two lights, one here and one here, and they shine on the back of this whole section here. I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to do it. There's actually a huge built-up kind of triangular section. I'm not even sure what it is. It's hard to tell. It looks like scaffolding, but we'll see what we're going to do about that. The light's shining onto here. Actually looks like it's coming from here, so I drilled out a couple of holes on these sides. I drilled these two holes back here on this piece. You got two lights, one here and here. I got the little hole drilled out for these lights, and I think I'm going to be doing all these with fiber optic. I got this section removed from here so that when you put this on you can see right through it to the light that will be in there. Let's see, what else did I do? I got the windows drilled out in the rear plate here, all these windows in here. I got the little hole drilled here for this red blinker that goes on the top of the neck. I got all the holes drilled out for the nacelles. There's two on the outboard, there's two on the inboard. There are little these little guys here. And since there's so few on here, I'm also probably going to do this with fiber optic, and then run the fiber through here, and then create channels in here for that little bit of fiber optic. Mount an LED somewhere in here and light the nacelle like that, so that LED. Need an LED strip up in here somewhere. Need a couple of red LEDs in here. Need a LED right here for the blinker, and then yeah, those two red LEDs, a strip up here for the lights. What else do I got then? Oh, I got the bulb. That was fun. Let's see if we can even see these. They're microscopic. Barely see them. There's microscopic little windows drilled into there. Kind of difficult to see, but they're there. I got the photon emitter drilled out in the pattern that I can see in the screenshots. And then there's, oh, this thing. All these tiny little windows in here. A bunch of tiny little windows that go across here that I have drilled out. What else? Yeah, this. I'm still trying to decide what to do with this thing. There's some details on here that I've been looking at screenshots. There's a little round piece that should go on this section here. I'm actually surprised they put this little section in here, but there's a round piece that goes on top of that. And still not sure about that. I'm gonna think about this. So that's where I'm at right now. I'll be back when there's more work done. Alright guys, got a bunch more work done. Well, not a bunch. Got some more stuff done. Got everything sanded down and ready to take a nice bath. I did get a couple of baffles on here. And these are mainly to focus the light back down this way. I will put a drop of silver paint in here to help reflect it, but it's mainly light channels to channel the light down this way. They're just little, I guess, U shapes that I put in there. Got my holes drilled. Yeah, I can show that up for my wires right there. I got that knocked down with some files to help the base connect a little bit better. Less of a gap in there, and the gap will be filled with epoxy anyways. But yeah, I got the holes drilled there. The holes drilled in my base, at least one. Still haven't figured out where I'm going to put the other two holes. I did a fair amount of scratch building on this. I did cut that trench in there. You can see the trench. You can kind of see the trenches in there, and I drilled my holes for my lights. I added some reinforcement here, a little vent thing, that little detail, little antenna up here, and then some just random pieces. So, it's bath time for these parts. I want to get some primer on them today. That's the goal. So I'll be back when I've got some more done. Well, I got primer over everything, and I got some white over the areas I want to reflect some reflection in. I'm going to put a gloss coat over this white. It's just flat white for the moment. Also starting to tape off areas that are large that I just don't want to scrape the paint off anymore. So I got these wings masked off. I got the rear section here masked off. Then the cells, I got the area where they attach into the wings masked off. The head, I got the connection point in the head masked off on this side, and then of course on the corresponding side. So yeah, I got white in there. I white in the bulbs where I want reflection. I think you can see those windows now a little better. All those teeny tiny microscopic windows. Some of these got painted, filled them. They're so small, so I'll have to re-drill those. Yeah, then the cells don't have any white in them because this is going to be the fiber optic. Get the white here. I think that's about it, actually. I did assemble this, and I did fill that. I had to recut some of these holes because they overlapped with the this back plate here, and I did have to fill in this seam here. It was a little bit of a seam, and unsightly, so I filled that in. And I did mask off where the base attaches here, so I have raw plastic to glue it to. This tape keeps coming up. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for this first video. Made a little bit of progress here. So I want to thank everyone for watching. And next week there won't be a video because I will be busy with my family. I'll be hanging out with my sister and my mom and dad and my brother-in-law and all my great nephews and my cousins. So first week of the new year we should get back at this. I might be able to get my primary colors on these in the meantime. So I want to thank everyone for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the new year. Take care.